If a Sigma male feels compelled, he won't hesitate to ghost or ignore you. His apparent indifference is frequently misconstrued as arrogance, and occasionally that assumption holds true. However, a Sigma may be ignoring you for a multitude of reasons, many of which may not be personal. Before drawing conclusions, it's essential to contemplate these 10 potential reasons why Sigma males might choose to ignore you. Please remember to like and subscribe to our channel to stay connected to the Gents community. 1. Sigmas perceive some individuals as uninteresting. In social settings, you might notice that Sigmas tend to keep to themselves or remain quiet. This isn't because they're being aloof or standoffish, but rather because they often find the typical chatter uninteresting. Unlike those who thrive on small talk and seek validation through social interaction, Sigmas have a different approach to communication. When a Sigma doesn't engage in casual conversation, it's often a sign that they're not finding the topic stimulating. They aren't interested in chit-chatting about trivial matters just to fit in or seek approval. It's not about arrogance. It's about valuing substance over superficiality. Unlike some individuals who gauge their self-worth based on how well they're received in social circles, Sigmas don't rely on others' approval to feel good about themselves. Whether you like them or not doesn't sway their sense of self-worth. They're independent thinkers who don't feel the need to conform to societal norms or seek validation through constant interaction. Because of this mindset, Sigmas tend to gravitate towards deeper conversations rooted in shared interests. If you find common ground with a Sigma, you'll discover that they can engage in lengthy, meaningful discussions on topics they're passionate about. They thrive on connecting with others on a deeper level rather than engaging in surface-level exchanges. However, if you don't share any common interests with a Sigma, you might find them reticent or withdrawn in social settings. In such cases, it's important to understand and respect their preference for substance over small talk. Accepting their silence doesn't mean they dislike you. It simply means they're not inclined to engage in conversations that lack depth or meaning to them. 2. Sigmas distaste certain character traits. If you find yourself wondering why a Sigma seems to be avoiding you or giving you the cold shoulder, it could very well boil down to certain aspects of your personality that don't quite mesh with theirs. Think of a Sigma as akin to a top-tier athlete in their field. They're driven by high standards, like an internal compass guiding them towards their goals. This means they've cultivated strong character traits such as discipline and a solid work ethic. They don't just apply these standards to themselves. They expect a similar level of commitment from those around them. If they perceive that someone hasn't put in the effort to build up their own character, they might be quick to judge. Now, nobody's perfect, and Sigmas knows that. They're not looking for flawless individuals to befriend. However, they do have their limits, especially when it comes to certain behaviors. For instance, excessive complaining is a big turnoff for Sigmas. They're not the type to dwell on negativity. Instead, they prefer to focus on meaningful endeavors and maintain an optimistic outlook on life. So if you're constantly venting about your problems or approaching situations with a pessimistic attitude, don't be surprised if Sigma starts to keep its distance. Furthermore, Sigmas are known for their adventurous spirit and willingness to take risks. Whether it's engaging in extreme sports, starting businesses, or embarking on globe-trotting adventures, they thrive on pushing boundaries and seeking out new experiences. If you're someone who tends to play it safe and avoid stepping out of your comfort zone, a Sigma might struggle to connect with you. They admire boldness and initiative, so if you're risk-averse, they might not see eye to eye with you, leading them to prioritize other connections over yours. Before proceeding to the next point, we kindly ask you to take a moment to like and subscribe to our channel. By doing so, you'll stay connected to a community committed to intentional living. Your support means a lot to us, and we genuinely appreciate it. 3. You boast too much. If you've ever been around someone who can't seem to stop bragging about themselves, you might be dealing with an alpha or gamma type. These individuals have a tendency to exaggerate their achievements in order to impress others. Alphas in particular thrive on the admiration and respect of those around them. It's like oxygen to them. Without it, they feel like they're wilting away. So when they boast, it's often because they enjoy the feeling of accomplishment and the validation it brings. Sure, they might stretch the truth a bit in the heat of the moment, but they genuinely believe they're exceptional individuals. On the other hand, gammas boast for a different reason. They're insecure. They might not feel too great about their real lives, so they try to make themselves look better by fabricating stories or exaggerating their accomplishments. It's a way for them to try to boost their status and cover up their insecurities. Now enter the sigma. Unlike alphas and gammas, sigmas don't feel the need to flaunt their achievements. They're not ones to draw attention to themselves or list off their accomplishments in conversation. In fact, many people might not even realize just how successful sigma is because they don't go around boasting about it. And if you try to compliment them, they'll likely brush it off. So when sigma finds themselves surrounded by people who can't stop talking about how amazing they are, they might start to feel a bit bored or disinterested. It's like watching a rerun of a show they've already seen 100 times. They'd much rather be doing something else. Foo. A sigma is always busy. Have you ever noticed how even though a sigma seems calm on the surface, their mind is constantly buzzing with ideas? That's because they're like engines revving at high speed, always processing and contemplating the next move. They're not the type to sit back and wait for life to unfold. They're proactive and driven, chasing their dreams with the same intensity as a professional athlete going for gold. This level of intensity naturally translates into a busy lifestyle for sigma. They're constantly on the move, tackling challenges and seizing opportunities. So if you find yourself waiting on a response to an email or text from a sigma, don't jump to conclusions and assume they're ignoring you. It's likely they're just juggling multiple commitments and priorities. That's just part of what makes a sigma so intriguing. They're unpredictable, always keeping you on your toes. You never quite know what they'll come up with next, and that's part of their charm. However, being friends with a sigma also means understanding that their busy schedule might sometimes cause them to drop off the radar for a while. But fret not. They'll resurface eventually, and they're ready to dive back into the action. Trust is earned. When it comes to earning trust, sigmas have a unique approach that sets them apart. Forget about flashy introductions or smooth talk. Sigmas are all about actions speaking louder than words. They don't just take people at face value. Instead, they carefully observe how individuals behave over time to gauge their trustworthiness. So, if you're looking to gain a sigma's trust, it's going to take more than just a charming demeanor or impressive rhetoric. They're looking for consistent, reliable actions that demonstrate integrity and character. They'll observe how you handle various situations, noting both your strengths and weaknesses. It's crucial not to try to deceive or mislead a sigma, because they're adept at seeing through facades. They value authenticity and honesty above all else. And because trust isn't something they hand out freely, sigmas tend to keep their inner circles small and tight-knit, often consisting of people they've known for years. If you find yourself on the outskirts of sigma's social circle or feeling like you're being ignored, it could simply be because they haven't had enough time to get to know you yet. In such cases, the best course of action is demonstrating your trustworthiness through consistent, dependable behavior over an extended period. Showcasing qualities like self-discipline and a strong work ethic won't go unnoticed by a sigma. They're quick to recognize those who walk the talk and will make a mental note of your reliability. So, if you're patient and persistent, you may find yourself earning a place in a sigma's inner circle over time. Sigmas get lost in thought. Ever been around a sigma who seems to be in their own world, completely oblivious to what's happening around them? It's not that they're intentionally ignoring anyone. They might just be lost in the depths of their own thoughts, grappling with a creative puzzle or problem. Creative thinking isn't everyone's cup of tea, but for sigmas, it's like second nature. They have a knack for diving deep into intellectual challenges and aren't afraid to tackle creative projects head-on. Like an artist consumed by their masterpiece, a sigma can become so engrossed in their thoughts that they tune out everything else around them. So if you find yourself feeling sidelined by a sigma who seems lost in thought, don't take it personally. They might simply be wrestling with a creative conundrum that demands their full attention. It's not that they're intentionally ignoring you. They just need some time to mull over their ideas and find a solution. In such situations, patience is key. Give the Sigma some space to work through their thoughts, and they'll likely come back down to earth once they've cracked the creative code. And who knows, they might even share their innovative insights with you once they've emerged from their mental labyrinth. 7. Don't tell a Sigma what to think. If you're engaging in a discussion with a Sigma, it's important to understand that they're not easily swayed by attempts to dictate their beliefs. Sigmas have a methodical approach to forming opinions, relying on logic and rational thought to guide their conclusions. Unfortunately, there are individuals out there who try to impose their own beliefs onto others, whether it's about religion, politics, or even something as seemingly trivial as sports. They might resort to strong-arming tactics or attempts to shame those who don't conform to their viewpoints. However, with a Sigma, these tactics are bound to fall flat. You see, Sigmas don't respond well to emotional manipulation or attempts to assert social dominance. Trying to intimidate or shame them into adopting a certain belief is like trying to push a boulder uphill. It's futile. Instead, if you want to persuade a Sigma, you'll need to present well-reasoned arguments and solid evidence to support your position. If you can make a compelling case and provide sound reasoning, Sigma will be open to changing their beliefs. They're not stubborn for the sake of it. They value intellectual integrity and reasoned discourse. However, if you try to command them to accept your viewpoint without providing any logical justification, they'll tune you out. In essence, Sigmas despise being told what to think. They prefer to come to their own conclusions through careful consideration and analysis. So if you're engaging with a Sigma in a debate or discussion, be prepared to respectfully exchange ideas rather than attempting to impose your beliefs onto them. 8. Sigma males have haters. It's a common truth that when someone achieves a high status in society, they often become the target of jealousy and resentment from those who haven't reached the same level. This is especially true for Sigma males, who tend to excel in various aspects of life, from connections and wealth to beauty, character, and intelligence. Let's break it down. Sigmas typically tick all the boxes when it comes to societal markers of success. They have influential friends, are financially successful, possess attractive physical features, and boast strong character traits and high intelligence. These qualities naturally earn them a high status in the eyes of society, whether they actively seek it or not. However, with great status comes great envy, as the saying goes. Not every individual harbors resentment towards Sigmas, but a significant portion, particularly Gamma males, do. Gammas often find themselves lower down the social ladder, lacking the connections, attractiveness, or success they desire. They look upon Sigmas with envy, yearning for the same level of status and recognition. For Sigmas, dealing with haters becomes a part of everyday life. It's a reality they've come to accept, and they often employ a strategy of remaining aloof to minimize the jealousy directed towards them. By keeping a distance and not engaging too deeply with those who harbor envy, Sigmas aim to protect themselves from the negative consequences of others' insecurities. In essence, while achieving high status may bring its perks, it also comes with its fair share of challenges, including having to navigate the resentment and envy of those who covet what you have. For Sigmas, maintaining a sense of detachment can serve as a protective measure against the negativity that often accompanies their success. 9. You're not being logical enough. In the realm of human behavior, logic isn't always the guiding force. We all have our moments of irrationality, but for some, logic plays a more significant role in decision-making than for others. Take, for instance, the person who racks up debt due to excessive fast food consumption, or the individual who remains stuck in a dead-end job despite possessing greater potential. These are just a couple of examples of irrational behavior that permeates everyday life. Enter the Sigma. This type of person places a premium on logical thinking, often prioritizing it over emotional or instinctual reactions. They're the planners, the goal setters who meticulously chart a course of action to achieve their objectives. Impulsive decisions, not their style. Sigmas prefer to have sound reasons backing their actions, carefully weighing the pros and cons before making a move. In professional settings, irrational decisions can be a thorn in the side of a Sigma. As often the most logical member of the team, they expect their co-workers to approach problems with a similar level of rationality. Anything less can lead to frustration and annoyance on the Sigma's part. Even in their personal lives, Sigmas hold steadfast to their preference for logic. If someone's irrational behavior leads to problems, Sigma is unlikely to offer sympathy. Instead, they expect individuals to apply critical thinking skills and formulate better goals to overcome their challenges. After all, to a Sigma, life is about setting objectives and taking methodical steps to achieve them. However, if someone consistently fails to order their life in a logical manner, Sigma may hold it against them and choose to distance themselves. It's not about being heartless, it's about valuing efficiency and pragmatism in all aspects of life. If you're not aligning with those principles, a Sigma might opt to focus their energy elsewhere. 10. You're being too much of an alpha male. When it comes to the dynamic between Sigma and alpha males, it's often a complex interplay of competition and rivalry, especially in arenas like athletics, business, and life in general. While they may share some similarities, their motivations and approaches are fundamentally different, leading to occasional clashes. In a business setting, for instance, the alpha typically assumes the role of the CEO or the top dog. Naturally, as the leader, they expect obedience and respect from their employees. It's part of the package. Their status as the alpha figure is crucial for preserving their self-esteem, and any perceived challenge to their authority can hit them hard. Alphas are acutely aware of their status within the social hierarchy, and they're sensitive to anything that might undermine it. However, the alpha's authority holds little sway for a Sigma, who places little importance on social hierarchies. Sigmas are driven by their own reasons and objectives, and they're not ones to bend the knee to someone simply because of their position. This disconnect between the alpha's expectations and the Sigma's independence can lead to conflict, particularly if the alpha expects unwavering compliance from the Sigma. Unlike other subordinates, the Sigma won't blindly follow orders if they perceive them to be unreasonable or illogical. So, if you find yourself in a situation where a Sigma is ignoring you, it might be because you're mistakenly treating them as if they're subordinate to you. Sigmas don't respond well to commands or demands. They prefer autonomy and independence in their decision-making process. If you're an alpha expecting a Sigma to toe the line without question, you might be in for some disappointment. It's all about understanding and respecting each other's motivations and approaches, even if they differ. We greatly appreciate your support. Becoming a member and joining our community is vital to our growth. Share your thoughts and suggestions by leaving comments below. We value your feedback and enjoy hearing from you. Stay safe, gents. Thanks for watching.